I often have reminders of memories on social media which rudely pop up when I log in. You know the kind, 12 years ago today this happened, or share this tragic photo. Sometimes those photos bring comfort, a smile, a memory of those that we're no longer able to talk to, but other times they're just plain embarrassing and definitely invoke a very loud crikey. Recently, I feel like I've had a lot more of these memory prompts than normal, so I thought I'd take some time to look back through my photos and have the luxury of reflecting on who I was as opposed to who I am now. Now, sometimes it is a touch disheartening when you realise that the sparkle of youth has gone from your eyes, you're a few pounds heavier, and stuff that you used to take for granted isn't quite as easy as it once was. But if I'm honest, I wouldn't swap the lessons that I've learned, and dare I say it, the wisdom that I've gained, for the chance to go back and be young again. I was an awkward and gangly teenager. I was not part of the in crowd. I had a few friends that I held dear, and when they moved on, as so many friendships do, I felt the pain of their loss so ridiculously clearly. When I eventually decided to teach, I started to blossom. I loved what I did. I took it really seriously, working hard to make a difference. But through the 20 odd years that I was in the classroom, through to running my own school, I never ever lost the feeling that I was an imposter. I've always been waiting to be found out. More than pondering on exactly who Louise Welcome was or has become, I've recently found myself remembering more through the photos. I started looking back at the ones that I took 10 years ago when I first picked up a camera and I fell in love with photography. I wasn't really very well then, and my beloved Canon 6D, along with my patient husband, dragged me out of that one day at a time. Those photos, I'm going to be honest, are not easy for me to look at, even now. But during this time of navel gazing, I have actually realised how far I've come as a photographer and how far I've got to go before I'm where I really want to be skills-wise. So today I've donned myself a cosy jumper, I've grabbed my new Christmas slippers, and I'm going to take you on a bit of a journey of photographic reflection. Maybe share a few lessons that I've learned in the hope that, well, that it encourages you to perhaps do similar. Maybe you'll realise, like I have, how far you've come. And actually that's not a bad lesson to learn.
Lesson 1. Quiet scenes rock. So having had a frantic start, I now had plenty of time to stand and stare as those clouds thickened and the colour intensified before the sun broke the horizon. What followed was one of the most sublime sunrises where I captured a rare portfolio shot. This photo gives me joy because it was such an unexpected experience. Yes, it is totally in your face. As is this one from Dorset a few years before. Crikey, those blues. This one from Tuscany, rather like that first shot. Well, the colours are pretty real. They're just a bit too much for my taste now. And just like that quiet person sitting in the corner at a party who just looks like they don't want to be there, a quiet landscape can end up transforming into something glorious. But you have to take the time to get to know it, to allow its personality to come out, bit by bit. And then you've got to work out your relationship with it, how you want to represent it, your creative choices, particularly in a quiet scene, well, they are probably more important than in a noisier one. You see, in a less busy or quiet scene, well, one decision can really have a dramatic impact, can change the whole nuance of it. That's why it's important. The photographer can't hide their creative decision behind something big, bold, in your face. It's subtle. It's lovely. Oh, I do love a quiet scene. This quiet shot from November 2020 was the first that I ever got an ear recognition for. It still makes me smile, but leads me on to point number 2. Lesson 2, Face your fears. I have a real problem with trees. Or maybe they've got a problem with me. It's quite pathetic when you look at it. A grown woman who just fears trees because she doesn't know what to do with them.
This is a peril of not having visited a location before. I'm running around like a headless chicken trying to find compositions and working out what it is that I want to focus on.
Of course, the problem is, the more you panic, the worse it gets. We've all been there. But when you do get it right, oh, it's just lovely. But so rare. So this year, maybe I just need to grow up a bit and face my fears as I used to tell my students. Yep, that one came up as a 6 years ago today on Facebook. If you have any tips, any at all, to get me over this block, please share them, please. Lesson 3. Learn what floats your boat. Looking back over the years, I confess I have one thing that sets my heart on fire, baby. Water.
This is ridiculously good. Just fun to watch those waves and try and get the one that's the best. Oh. Brilliant.
And to be honest with you, although I love the flat kind, what really does it for me is the moving gorgeousness. But what I have noticed is how my tastes have changed and how I've refined what I do and how I edit. Let me explain. I used to have the impression that because I could have a 10-stop filter, I should use it as often as possible. God, this hurts. Oh, God. Dreadful. Oh. I also used to have my tripod fully extended, never going to any other position, and when not using my 10-stop, I seem to be stuck totally on the same shutter speed. Yep, same again, and with a nice green tint this time. Now, let's fast forward to 2024 when I really took the time to try and work out how to make this better. I revisited places trying to work out how to capitalise on the light in both capture and processing. I forced myself to learn how to blend exposures so I got pleasing results. I got my butt in the water and started playing with different shutter speeds that were suitable for the actual scene. My work may not be to your taste, but you can't deny it's improved, and it blimmin' needed to. Now, more recently, I've tried something a little bit different with moving water. I don't know whether I'm going to take it forward, but you know what? I'm going to give it a go, see where it ends up. I may share some of it with you. It may be dreadful, so I won't. Lesson 4. Kill your darlings. I am in the process of stripping out what I'm offering on my website. Some of the shots that I've held dear for a very long time do not represent either who I am now or some of my better work. So, it is now time for a spring clean out and a restart. I can now start promoting my camera club talks and also my one-to-one basic level post-processing courses online. Now, if I could leave you one top tip, it would be don't publish your photo until you sat on it for at least a night. Go back in the morning with a fresh pair of eyes and look at it again. It may no longer be as much of a darling as you thought. Lesson 5. Get off social media and just get out there. With that in mind, I'm going to do just that. So I will see you next time. Have a cracker.